welcome to Trucking Answers. Well, it's 12:30-ish on Monday, p.m. Eastern Time, which I said in a weird way. It's 23 degrees and partly sunny here with traffic and weather on the fours every 10 minutes. Thank you for being here today. We've got a few things going on. Of course, Schneider buys MTS. What do you know about that? The average driver uses 7 drive hours a day. They reiterated this again in another article. Is this true? Is this true? As they said, Kentucky storms, well, it's just like Virginia, isn't it? They want to fast track people under 21 and get rid of all this waiting time. Bob Saget dies. Can you believe that? I thought the guy was actually younger than that, but found dead at the Ritz-Carlton. Boy, that's terrible. So there we go with all that and anything else that's going on here. So let's see what's going on out there with you today. What is happening? We had Joan Harper first the other day as right after posting, followed quickly by George Costanza. And today, George H.W. Bush is here to president. That is good. Thank you for being here today. A Glitter Sparkle is here. What's going on? Ansel and Penelope Rain Blossom Smith with one of the longest names on YouTube. Hello there. What's happening? Carded Studios is here. So Flat Highway is here. What's going on? John M. Wilbon 1879. Good afternoon. Mark and Trucking Answers fans. Keep on trucking and keep the country moving. Yes, this great country. Keep the rubber slapping the asphalt. Oh, exactly. That's the name of my third studio album. So that's pretty good. Your Sunday rent car, the roof looks like it was from the manhole, John M. It did need a little work. I will say that. The car needed some work, but I don't often see those MR2s. They only made them like that for a couple of years. It changed again in 03, so they updated the outside of it a little bit. So Captain Flatbed, what's going on? Yeah, seat warm. You need seat warmers here. It was 16 degrees this morning. I don't know what's happening. Mr. Somewhere, what's happening? Wiener in hand, as always. Wiener vending machine. That's pretty good. I love that. John Black. Wiener's always tastes better at 12:30. Oh, hey, we got to get an email for you. So what's going on there? Joe, what's happening? Dwight, what's going on? Daniel from Lockport, Illinois, where it's probably the same weather. Is that a retro vending machine? It looked like an almost new vending machine. Wimpy McPoatman with a million excuses just made it. That's good. Luke, 1, 2, 3, 4. So glad back in the sleeper. Had a day cab and had to park at motels. Yeah, I cannot imagine being in a day cab and having to try to find a motel every day. I know there are companies that do it, and maybe it works out if you park early, but I don't think I'd want to hit a motel every day. I think as much as it sounds like it's a great idea, it seems annoying in actual use. Put your seatbelt on. Wiener time begins. It's time for belting your wieners. Dashcam Sam. He's got no Randy's on. Happy Monday from Tampa, Florida. Day tomorrow. Hope it's snowing there. Probably not, though. No snow coming up here either, really. Thursday, maybe light dusting. GL Travels. Hey, what's going on? It's Mr. Plows here. Chicken hauler from Alabama. All right, roll tide. Yes, absolutely. Joan Harper, you were first. I saw that on there. Because the people, when you write it on there, it disappears after a little while. That's why I don't always see it. So, first, you were first. Absolutely. Greetings, drivers. Hunting down trailer parts. Columbia, George. That sounds like fun. There's no parts of anything anywhere. So, everything is out of stock. Grafton, hello there. What's with the balloon in the back, Mr. Plow? Oh, right. The balloon. It's the wife's birthday coming up, so she's been getting balloons and stuff, and that balloon is just floating there in the background. So those are for the wife's birthday. That is headed up here soon. IDI Ford V8, what are you going to deal with today, Mark? Your truck. Maybe that driver's another reason we don't live on Mars. It's just people it's being lazy and people that don't have pride in their job. You don't leave problems for somebody else because you're not going to be the next one driving the truck. So, that's super aggravating. Especially when the truck sits there for a while and it could be fixed and you don't even have to do anything about it. That's the worst part. So lazy you're going to make a phone call or tell somebody. So aggravating. Jail Travels, I'm in Knoxville, Tennessee, waiting to get this lab load off my trailer tomorrow morning. How do you put dogs on a trailer? That doesn't seem right. I mean, where's PETA? Can you imagine having to pay a monthly service for the seat warmer? Yeah, you can if you have a BMW. And what they said they're probably going to do is charge it yearly. That way you can't get out of it, only pay 3 months of it. So they're going to charge a yearly fee for it. Isn't that great? Trucker Hershey in hospital in California, COVID pneumonia. Really? Wow. Hope that goes okay. Yikes. Yeah, let us know how that's going on. What did they do with the truck? Just curious. I don't want to keep you awake or whatever you're doing there, though. Captain Cleaner Wiener is with the Roll Tide program. Oh, happy birthday, Mark's wife. It's Mr. Plow. I'll tell her that later this week here. She's not as happy as everybody else is about it, apparently. It's snowing in Woodburn, Indiana. Really? It's just partly cloudy here. We're not expecting anything. Of course, I don't know where Woodburn, Indiana is, though. Happy birthday, Mrs. Trucking Answers. I'll have to let her know. I'm not sure that she watched the show. I doubt it. I don't think so. The only way a hotel works every day is if your time never changes, which we all know never happens. Joe, look, if you had a dedicated thing, and so, like, say at 8 p.m., you're at the same motel every time, that might work out okay, I guess. And you'd get all the points, which actually wouldn't be bad. But just like randomly, can you imagine randomly running the road with the loads that you get, whatever it is, and instead of being able to sleep in the truck, you have to sleep in a motel every day. It seems great. Get a shower every day, your own room, but then you have to go find a hotel every day. Plus, some companies limit the amount you can spend or whatever, and so then that becomes a problem. $49 or whatever. My birthday, what are you doing talking to us? Another birthday today, and this show goes every Monday. So even if it was her birthday, which will be Friday. Yeah, get Well Trucker Hershey. Boy, we're going to have some kind of thing for that. So what's that? Betty, Bob, and who do you think is next? The wife said that. It comes in threes, but I said, look, Betty White's worth two people. I mean, I go, that's our three right there, but I don't know. Mel Brooks. I agree. I hope you have an easier week. Yeah, it just, these things run all together like that. And so it just, where two things happen at the same day like that, it's just ridiculous. Then the next day wasn't much better, which I'll go into more on the podcast because I have a big thing about that. So huge lake effect in upstate New York. Oh, all right. Well, that might make sense, right? Blowing off the lake in this weather. We're going to get warmer by 43 by Wednesday here. Traffic and weather on the ones. Mark, I'm lazy. I'm sorry, but my secret is out. Joan Harper. Yeah. The thing about the spotters that bothers me so much is I walked up to that truck and could see it was low because the trailer's loaded. I'm like, I'm looking at that. Which he had to walk by it to open the doors. All he's got to do is call on the radio and say this trailer's got a flat before they put it in the dock. That's it. Oh, it's not their job to do that. It's everybody's job to do that. Always a pain waiting to get your load off. It can be. Yes. Where's the cat? That's a good question. She was munching her chows. I don't know where she went off to. Laboratory load. It's a research load to fight COVID. Oh, I get it. A laboratory load. Not a bunch of dogs on there. I mean, why couldn't you do that? Who would load dogs in there? Is the wife better? Yes. I was sick last week, too, from that. So doing better. There's more on that for the podcast. So does your job ever pull you in the office about all the complaining about trailers you do? No. They don't want to stay until I come to work. So, no, absolutely not. Believe me, they want me in there as little as possible because I'll be complaining even more about it. The only nice thing about sleeping in a hotel is having the bathroom. Luke, I agree. I mean, it sounds great. Shower, bathroom, TV, right? Oh, control the temperature better. But then parking. So, I don't know. On just random routes, I wouldn't like it. The wieners are cold in Bernagid, wherever that is, in Minnesota, minus 18. Wow. That's a lot. Is it that cold up there? James Murrow, I don't even think you can get a decent motel for $49. Oh, you can't. But some companies might limit that and say, well, we'll pay that much towards a motel. I could see companies doing that. I could see them doing it. No, I figure $100 a night for when, if I travel, right, we go anywhere, I figure $100 a night is what I would budget for motels and then see what I can get around, in that range right there. John Mann passed right before Betty White, so maybe that's the third. Oh, that is right. John Mann did die. But see, would he be considered like the same as like Betty White and Bob Saget, where he's not really an actor, so I'm not sure. Debbie Gills also died yesterday. There's your three. Oh, is that the person from, that 60s show? I don't remember who that. You're loading in Chicago, Merger Barrett. All right, what's going on up there? Betty, Bob, and Sidney Poitier. Oh, that's right. So we are almost at 6. Yikes. Paul Harris, I was in Lafayette, I-65. Yes, Saturday night. Saturday night, everything iced up. The police sent out tons of messages because I'm signed up on their alerts. Yeah, everything iced over and then melted again. Yep. I had to park at a T and walk about a half mile in 13 degrees. That was not fun. Oh, right. Well, it's 13 below zero. That's no better. You get up in the morning, you're all snugly warm, and you just look at the temperature and it says 13 below zero. Hello, Hoosierland, Roger Penske. Is it nice out there? I was loading in Chicago going to Seattle. Wow. How long is that going to take? 2 weeks? I mean, the weather not doing great. Not doing great on the way out there. Oh my gosh. It's Mr. Plow toward the manhole's new room. They will appreciate that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. We'll put it towards a new room for them. Joan Harper, where do you work? Well, the good thing, I don't get that question very much. So for new people on the show, which goes every Monday so far for probably 3.5 years now at 12:30 p.m. Eastern time subject to change occasionally. I don't ever mention where I work. That keeps them out of the videos. I recommend that for everybody, really. If you're going to do anything on video, companies are watching. You don't want them in your videos telling you what to do. So, and also don't recruit for them. A lot of people out recruiting. That's not going to be me. So, not recruiting for the company. Let them find their own people. That's how we do it here. IDI Ford. Hey, you said you couldn't use a $500,000 or $100,000 bill to pay for something, but they're legal tender. Yeah, you would be a fool because they're worth more than face value. You can't get them. They're hard to get, is what I'm suggesting. And they are legal tender. But what would you do? Say you had $500 bills. All right, for everybody that didn't know, in a podcast, this guy wrote a check. I do a thing in a podcast, which is every Tuesday, Friday, okay, in your podcasting app, that, a reason we're not on Mars. This guy wrote himself a check for $360 billion and took it to the bank to cash it. And I thought, well, what can you get? How much would the money weigh? Well, $100 bills, all right, because a $500 bill and a $1,000 bill, they're legal tender. I agree. If you actually got paid in $1,000 bills, where would you cash a $1,000 bill? You can't even really cash a $100 bill at a lot of places. How much are you going to have to pen that $1,000 bill to think it's real? Nobody will even believe it's a real bill. So I weighed out the $100 bills, of which you need many, to see how much does $360 billion weigh in $100 bills if you just weighed them out without packaging or whatever. And you could get the $1,000 bill. Plus, you'd have to sell it. And I agree, they're worth more than face value if you sell them to a collector or whatever. They're very hard to get. Wouldn't it be easier at the bank just to have them give you $100 bills and take your $360 billion and be on your way? That's what I was saying about it. So, yeah, absolutely. But I see what you're saying, right? Man was still in the entertainment industry, I guess, and he traveled around by bus. People don't know that. He traveled around the country by bus, but not in a Greyhound bus. Hey, GP Transco, good afternoon. It's good to see you today. Guess who's coming to dinner and bringing roller wieners? Not Sidney Poitier, that's for sure. Sergeant Metalhead, I work for a food service company in Boston. Our drivers that do Maine have a running reservation at the same hotel. See, that wouldn't be bad. If they're at the same place, I think that'd be okay. Plus, they get to know you. That's one thing, I think. Food service and you're at the same hotel. Yeah, that's great. They have a mint on your pillow. But I can't imagine just running randomly where they give you some load and you have to get a 10-hour break from noon to 10 p.m. somewhere before you go deliver your load at 11:30 p.m. That would be disastrous. Silver, which I just lost my little spot. Oh, I have stayed many times at the hotel that Werner owns, and it's pretty nice. $54 a night with tax if you have CDL. All right. Now, are there pictures? Every wall has pictures of the founder and Werner trucks and everything on it. Just curious. Juan, what's going on, Wieners? Hey, we're all here. Bob Saget died at 65. Yes, Bob Saget passed away, 65. Terrible. So very surprising. I'm reading that. I couldn't believe it. Chicken Holler, I'm not stuck in the hospital, but I'm in my bedroom away from the family. I tested positive yesterday. Well, just like cough on and off and low-grade fever. Luckily, I have YouTube to catch up on. All right. Well, yeah, take it easy. Rest, as the doctors would say. And take your own doctor's advice, certainly. So, GP Transco, we've not gotten an email with last week's winner's address. Please send it over when you have a chance. I agree. I have not gotten an email with the winner's email and address either. So I meant to write you. Thursday, Friday were a disaster, which was a mess. But absolutely, I haven't gotten their address either. Salt Lake City, Utah to Knoxville, Tennessee. That was my miles. All right. Well, that's not terrible. That's pretty good. James Bowman, happy Roller Wiener Monday. Hey, what's going on? The other thing I didn't like about driving the day cab is it needed fuel way more often. It depends, right? We have some day cabs that have 175-gallon tank on them. So, yeah, it depends. Although, we have some day cabs with two 120s on them. Just depends how they order them. But we have some day cabs with a single 75-gallon tank. And I agree. You would have to fill it up a lot. Are there ice patches at the Flying J parking lot when it's 18 below? Probably. Can't think of Wiener Wiener. There are probably those patches around. I bet drivers are still doing that. The $1,000 bill was discontinued and recently in 1890 auctioned off for $2.3 million. Well, that'd be pretty good if you had them all in thousands. How long would it take the bank to get those? They probably don't have as many. This person wanted their money in and out quick. And with hundreds, it just takes a few minutes probably to count up $360 billion in $100 bills and hand it over to you, right? Just put it all in a bag or whatever. Paper or plastic. Joe, a CFI YouTube, filmed himself throwing away his trash, but also putting 2-gallon bottles of apple juice next to the trash can. Who would film themselves and their truck doing that? Somebody should send that over to CFI and ask them, is this how you, what you teach your drivers to do? Yuck. I see a lawsuit coming for Swift, really, and I'm another one? I'm an owner-operator, and they put new Zonar tablets in. What's a Zonar tablet? But they've got them set to go around tolls, which puts you in a bad position. I pay $20 a month for tolls. What do you mean they have them set to go around tolls? What do you mean by that? If you're an owner-operator, you can go any way you want. Avoid chicken haulers at all costs. I'll keep that in mind. You'd be upgrading the driver's seats in your trucks. Joe, how will they match the dashboard with that fancy dash? All right, if the winner does not write by Wednesday, we'd like to do the giveaway next week. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a good idea. We don't make modifications, but the 2023 trucks are going to have better seats. That's even better. Always get the best seats, I say, people. Of course, I'm not paying for them. But I say money's no object on seat spending. I say because I'm not the one spending the money. The day cab I drove had 2 80-gallon tanks. So, right, so you don't get hardly any fuel in them. So it just depends how they order them. So can you imagine one 75-gallon tank? How about that? They're like, oh, well, it's a day cab, And I'm like, yeah, well, people are filling them up constantly. They're always at the fuel station griping about it. Or you get it back and it has 4 gallons of fuel in it. Because people are lazy and they'll park a truck on E thinking, oh, who cares? Let the next driver fill it up, There's C. Schneider bought MTS. What do you think about that? Schneider bought MTS. GP Transco small announcement. Due to truck shortages, we're diversifying our incoming new trucks. Besides Cascadias, we're getting some teal Volvos. Oh, nice. I'm in for that then. See, I'd go over, if I had a choice, right? Volvo. I'd take the Volvo over a Cascadia when given a choice. That's pretty good. I don't think I've seen a teal Volvo. Is it going to be the same teal also? How does that work? When you order the color, is it just close? Like a car? Two greens are different on two different kinds of cars. So is this like a different Volvo kind of green? Chris, I put a 60-gallon tank on my F-250. The Snug 34 is a pain. Now I shop for fuel deals. Oh, yeah. Well, see, I've seen this where the tank can come out and there's like this tank that fits underneath the truck in all the different spaces, and it way improves your fuel, your distance. So 60 gallons. Wow, they probably think you're stealing fuel. And let's see, gas here today, although that's... gas here was $3.12 at Myers, so 60 gallons, $200 to fill it up. That'd be something. That would be eye-opening at the old Speedway, I think. The FMCSA is going to speed through these under 21 people as well. Ford V8, I like your show. Hope to meet you one day at Meyer. All right, well, absolutely. I'm over there, so hope to see you there. Come on out, or anywhere. We'll be at the truck show in Louisville in March, too. So, end of March, I hope everybody goes over to Mid-America Truck Show, right? Search that out. Get your tickets and order tickets early because they're free until March. So, if even you're thinking about going, order yourself some tickets. They'll mail them to you in March. Truck show in Louisville last weekend in March. Come on down. I'll be there at least Saturday, maybe Friday, Saturday, but for sure Saturday. Come on down and say hello. It's huge, by the way. If you haven't gone, every driver is required to go once in a lifetime to keep your CDL active as well. So I think that's a thing. Big knock. Chi-Town, I had to put in trucker's navigation, but I shouldn't have to do the old Qualcomms. Never routed you around tolls. The zoner are set to have you going through towns instead of staying on the highway. That's ridiculous. As an owner-operator, in my opinion, they can't tell you which way to go. They're not allowed to dictate how you do your job. That's the beauty of being independent. So you should still be able to go on whatever road you want. Oh, Swedish teal. Yeah, is it a different teal? Is it a different kind of teal? I don't know about that, Captain Flatbed. I don't know what kind of green that might be. Who's MTS? They haul mail. They advertise in Indianapolis constantly. They have tons of trucks in Indianapolis, and they're all over the country, and they mainly haul the mail. So it's a mail hauler, from what I can see, and they have routes that they probably haul other stuff too, but they do some mail. 160 to 212 per day, home every day in Indianapolis. That's what the last ad said, because I'm like, oh, Schneider's buying them? They do some automotive work too, I think, out of Indianapolis. But they have a lot of trucks there. And $160 a day is $800 a week. So pretty sweet deal right there. But they're still taking your $20. What is the $20 for? I mean, what are you paying them What are you getting for your $20? What's this $20 go to? The color of the, it should be near identical on the Volvos to the Cascadia. I wondered if just between manufacturers it's like a different green, or if you get to say, hey, this is our color, you better paint it this color, or I'll never buy another ABBA record from you guys. That's what I would tell them. I put diesel anti-gel in my tanks, but the fuel still gelled. Really? We're not using anti-gel yet. It didn't even, not to me, it didn't get cold enough. So, and the truck, because it was a mess in the yard, when I got back in, I couldn't even plug the truck in. So the truck just sat there a weekend. So I assume that's okay. Yeah, look, I don't know. You know, I use Power Service. That's what I've always used. So I like it. It shouldn't gel. If you put anti-gel in, especially, it should have been fine. Depending where you were, I guess. At least here at 10, I wouldn't even put it in. So, but I like Power Service. Everybody's got their brand. It's kind of like oil. Kind of oil. Oh, Castrol. No, it's got to be Quaker State. So I'm on the Power Service wagon. Hashtag Power Service. But I think whichever one ought to work good. There's that Howe stuff that I see advertised all the time too. A lot of people like that. Teal Volvos with pink tanks. I saw one at the manhole. Wow. That's nice. That's they go pick truck drivers up in that, bring them in. They're going to use that Toyota pretty soon to pick up drivers. Supernova. I had my Volvo since new and 108,000 miles later. No problems. That's pretty good on one of those. No lights or anything. Do the new Volvos have footrests on the dash? Mr. Somewhere, if you can get your foot up there. Some gas pumps cap you at 20 gallons. Really? I guess, well, I don't have a car that holds 20 gallons. I have had cars that held more than 20 gallons. What do they do? A lot of pickups have huge tanks. 36 gallons from the factory, 34 gallons. What, do you just have to restart the pump? I'd go somewhere else. I wouldn't fill up there again. When do they go on sale? When does what go on sale? Where am I missing on that? My favorite Bandit truck is Volvo. At least it's Kenworth. I'll take one of those Volvos over a Cascadia if I got the choice. Even though I like the dash in that Cascadia. Which trails do you think ride better? Wabash isn't an option. I think Champion dry vans are the smoothest. Any of these air rides. Whenever I get one without air ride, I'm like, yikes. Why do people drive these things around? Bouncing around down the road. So I'll take all the air ride I can get. And I guess I have to be partial to Wabash because they're right here in town. So we got to represent for Lafayette, Indiana. They're having a hiring event Saturday if you'd like to come here and TIG weld trailers all day, by the way. Trucker Gal, do you think mega carriers will end up taking over the industry? Yes. They seem to be buying out many companies. They do, but you know, like they put out the other day, 96% of trucking companies have 25 drivers or less. So 96% of them. Isn't that amazing? Some of our drivers swear by the Cascadia. Others say they like the Volvo. It's the smoothest driving truck. Yes, I agree. Others say they like the extra power of the Kenworth. Oh, well, wait a minute now. I kind of thought all your trucks would be powered the same. So now we got a power difference here? See, I didn't know that. I thought they were all set up pretty much the same. Fleet Nav Systems is here. Hello, everyone. How's it going? Happy Monday. Hey, are you snowed in up there from this, or how's it going with that? Well, Johnson, hey, everyone. I ate 10 roller wieners last week. I'm roller wienered out. Wow, that's pretty impressive. That's more than one a day. That's pretty good. Will the teal Volvos come with meatballs? Oh, nice. They're very good. And toothpicks. I've been trying to reach you regarding potential for sponsorship at Trucker Gal. We really like the content. If you like, email me the contact info, and I'll forward it. I will. I've never had to put anti-gel on my truck and mine, and I've always been fine. I will tell you, I get nervous when it gets cold out. That's why, I guess. So maybe it would have worked without it. But, if we get under 10, that gets me nervous. I put ISO heat in the cars, probably because I had a car freeze I had the fuel line freeze. I need to drop of water freezes in there. So I use ISO heat in the winter at about 10. The Escape got a bottle of it in there, so it's good. And it just makes me a little nervous. It's like insurance. You have it in case you need it. So put it in there. Hopefully it works. Well, if you're going to be at Mid-America Truck Show, I haven't been there in years, but I'll bring JL Travels with me and be broadcasting during the show. Yeah, absolutely. Bring it down there. Let's go. That'll be a blast. And hopefully they don't cancel again like they did the last couple of years. So as an owner-operator, we pay $20 for Easy Pass. All right, well, then you ought to be able... Do they prohibit you from running the toll road? Meaning, if you take a toll road, will they pay it? The tickets for the truck show in Louisville. Oh, yeah, they're free. They're free till March 1st. So just go search out Mid-America Truck Show, and you can register there and get as many tickets as you want. Each person registers separate. So if you are bringing 10 people or whatever, and they'll mail you the tickets in March. But as long as you get the ticket before March 1st, they're free. So even if you're not going to go, if you think you might go, get a ticket now. And then we'll see you down there in Louisville. And remember, I-65 bridge is a toll bridge, so you'll have to pay that. That'll be a lot of fun. It's like $4 each way or something like that. A Ford V8, goodness, thank you very much. Have you trucked through the province of Canada? Slightly. Those, like Northwest Territory? No. Thanks. What's the coldest you've ever been in a truck? At 20 to 25 below temp I've seen out in Wyoming. Canada, I used to go into Canada across at Detroit there and would go a little ways into Canada for 3M, but not super far. Not a regular Canada goer, really. I always got hosed on the money situation, transferring over there too, but didn't go much. I haven't been there many years, many years. That was Ruan that had that 3M account. How about that? Are you proud of your town? Well, I don't know. It's just a town that I live in, but I mean Wabash are right here, so I got to kind of represent, right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. They're going to come and yell at me. I've used House and it works. I've driven at 17 below and anti-gel stood up to the cold and kept the engine running. Yeah, see, so once you use it like that, right, at 17 below and it works, you're going to use it all the time. That's the same kind of thing with power service. Like I've used it and the truck runs, so I'm going to continue to use it. It might have run otherwise. We don't know. The pumps always say, at a certain temperature we treat the pumps, but who knows how much they put in there. It's like the windshield washer fluid, That's the brand I used. It was 8 and felt like 17 below zero. Truck set for 1 day. People say it's the biofuel and I should use anti-gel. The biodiesel does have a higher freeze point than other fuel from what I understand. In diesels, I think. I don't know, when does corn freeze? You're not snowed in up there? Did they turn the sidewalks on? Wabash should invite JB Hunt and keep their CEO hostage until they pick up all their trailers. Yes. Why are there so many JB Hunt trailers everywhere? Did they close and go out of business? We're going to order 10,000 trailers. They are all over the place. K9, K-Whoppers getting it done. Yeah, with the high power. Let's do it. Let's see here. By the way, we can answer hours of service questions or ones on Geotab ELD if anyone has them. Yeah, let's get some questions going for ELDs here. They're looking for a snowblower at the manhole, I bet. All right. Oh, so they go run. Well, you're going to go around the toll road. I'll go across. I'll take 65 across. I'm just telling people that are coming in from Indiana, if you cross into Kentucky on the bridge now, it's a toll road, and they take a picture of your license plate, including in your car. So be prepared to pay. Unfortunately, Volvos are unreliable. Roger Penske. I agree, but they ride better. And since that's not my truck, I would choose the Volvo. 16 drivers in orientation. Wow. Looking forward to meeting the new group. Wow. That's a big group. Especially in the middle of winter. I never like changing jobs in the wintertime. What everybody think about that? Just because it's annoying, you could get stuck in weather or whatever, and then it looks like you're being an idiot about driving. So I never like changing in the middle of winter, spring, unless you have to change. We used to take Highway 30 through Indiana and most Ohio to save on tolls. Silver. As a company driver, that's one thing. But, as an owner-operator, you should be able to go wherever you want, certainly, in the truck. I'm just wondering, do they pay the tolls for owner-operators? They should. They should. Certainly reasonable tolls. I get the Skyway or whatever. Goodness, Ford V8. Holy mackerel. Here's a birthday gift for your wife. Oh, all right. Well, thank you very much. Take her out somewhere nice and eat. We'll be having to leave soon. All right. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you very much, and I will. We'll see where she wants to go this year for the maybe Saturday. We'll do that. Thank you very much. God, goodness. It's 52 in Gulfport, Mississippi. I think that's fair. Yeah, fair for you. I'm looking here, 23 here. When I dream about the moonlighting Wabash, well, that's, yeah, frozen. Got kicked out of Canada for fighting in Toronto. Really? They're like, don't ever come back. Were they on horseback? Get out. Eh? Having rain ice is awesome during a snowstorm. Look, this stuff, right, you're going to have to treat your windshield wash fluid. Here we go. Put the alcohol in it. It's expensive this year. I was looking at it at Meijer. It's $5.99 a quart now. Should have got some before. I have 4 or 5 quarts of it here. You're going to need it. Put it in the windshield wash fluid before it freezes. When you squirt the windshield wash fluid, it should smell like a hospital. Seriously. I use Power Service. All right, so you're another Power Service person. That's what I used early and just have always just used Power Service. And I'm like, all right, well, the truck still runs, so it must be okay. I have an APU which doesn't start. Wouldn't start, so I would have left that running over the weekend. I'm sure by House Anti-Gel. Wouldn't use anything else. House Anti-Gel is the best used during freezing temperatures. Yeah, see, so you use it, works. It probably works good. I think once you use something and it works, that's what you're going to use probably. Can you do back? Oh, you're right. Hey, Fleet Nav Systems. Can you do back-to-back splits as long as we are completing the long part first? All right. How about that? Trucker Gal, does it sound like something you'd want to discuss? So we can still do a 3 and 7 split if we want. You can split. Yes. That would feed me for a week. Nice. 81 in Southwest Florida today. Nice. Chris's band. 81 degrees. What is going on? So, Nigel Barrett, I use Power Service myself. Right, so you're a Power Service. All right, well, that was a lot of fun. Nice. Sorry about that. We have some technical problems, apparently. So we'll get everything set back up here and be ready to go. All right, let's see if I can just click some buttons here, pop this out. All right. All right. That's great. That's just great. My apologies. The technology Comcast just decided to say, you know what? I think we're gonna have to go on vacation for a second here. So there we go. Now we are back, and let's get this back going here, and then we are ready to go. All right. So where was I? So here we go. My internet provider went off the rails. I agree. The cat. Oh, Gracie is back there sleeping. Maybe she did have a weird look on her face, though. So there we go. You talk bad about the hunt, they give you the axe. No doubt. Mr. Somewhere, happy birthday, Mrs. Trucking Answers. Yeah, she's it's a birthday time for her coming up. So I will tell her that. Mark's wife pulled the plug to get him off the internet on her birthday. Her birthday is actually Friday, so she's just getting things sent in. She had some flowers come in the other day, so pretty nice. All of her former friends that she has seen and stuff. So, any other drivers looking for a company looking at Bowen Logistics? So there you go. I thought it was my cheap tablet, James Morrow. No, it's my cheap internet over here. Darn Comcast. So there, a six-pack needs a soda water. We all need that after that disaster. The donor, he'll get extended on it. That's how that will work on that kind of stuff. So, oh, by the way, they say level 4 trucks are going to be in a couple of years. Are you ready for that? Who's ready for that? Do you think there'll be level 4 autonomous trucks in a couple of years on the road? That's what they're saying at CES. That must be something that Elon Musk has said. So, did I buy her flowers, John Harper? Oh, no, it's not her birthday yet. And I'm not a big flower person. They go away too quickly. You know, they only last a very short period of time. So I've never been big on getting flowers. How about doing a short dedicated video with your cat? If I could get the cat up long enough to do an entire video, that would be something. I don't know what you'd think about that. Fleet Nav Systems, have a great weekend and stay safe. All right, well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Where'd the thing go? All right, over here. Right there it is. They're the Geotab experts. HOS questions, right? Geotab, right there. Heated sidewalks. Turn on the sidewalks. I released my video on my channel this week about hitchhikers. Our death sentence to their trucking career if you get caught by your company or the DOT. And how your marriage can be affected, jail travels. That's true on all counts. All right, so no doing any of that. So that's, I agree with you on that. There's many reasons not to pick somebody up. Call services for them if you want. You know, you can lose your marriage, you can lose your job, you could lose a lot of things. So not worth it. And plus, if you're a hitchhiker, don't hitchhike. It's terrible. You can get killed or whatever. So this is in 1968. No more hitchhiking. Joan Harper, we love you, Mark. Well, I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for waiting, standing by. Operators are standing by. No, on the level 4 trucks, it's like your internet service. Exactly. So that's the thing. Level 4 trucks, that's where the truck does almost all the work for you. And look, I can't even keep the internet running for 15 minutes here. Are you ready for that? I don't think so. My lips are not moving again. Don't tell me that. Oh, no. I'm moving on this screen. Let's see what this other screen shows. I'm moving on that screen, too. All right. We're working good on it so far. Yeah, everything's working at the moment. Cat chewing on the cable cord. Hey, Gracie, leave the cables alone. Buy her a rose bush. Here's an entire bush to take care of. If I'm buying a bush, it's for me, for topiary. I'll tell you that. I'm almost love that. Do you know any dirt on Smith Transport? Yeah, kind of. I got like this dirt right here on them. How about that? Guaranteed pay. And they also have a team run to Dallas, which an astute viewer sent to me. They're paying, I can't name the price because I can't think of it. It's $2,000 or more per driver. I don't remember exactly what it is. I wish I did. Hopefully you'll be on here to correct me on that. So a dedicated team run to Dallas. They also have that. So that's that dirt on them. All the dirt you can get. Joe, that was gold. Yeah. Get your wife gold bars. Here's some gold bars. Make something out of them. I'll tell them. Paladin, it's still warmer in my refrigerator than your place outside. Yes, that's true. At 24 now and sunny. Refrigerators are warmer than it is outside. Low miles and a lot of paper roll loads. Trucking with Joker. Expect to haul some paper. Always buy your wife something you like to eat that you can use as well. Yeah, here's a drill or something like that. How would you know if his lips are moving? You can't see them. Nice. You know what they call a man without a beard, right? A woman. I heard that somewhere. Does the plane come with Smith? Yes, I think so. That's the plane that they fly you in on. Right there in the background, they fly you in on that plane. So, absolutely. The opposite of Laura wears lips move, but he's not really saying anything. That couldn't be any more correct, really. They have a dedicated Home Depot route I'm looking at. Really? Yeah, I wouldn't get on that, but maybe. Depends how much you have to do for it. At least they're daytime deliveries probably, too. You got to think about that. Hey, Pepsi's going to get 15 Teslas by the end of January, semis. Where are they? You've only made a couple of them. So they only have a couple more weeks to go. Pepsi really going to hand out a couple of Tesla semis? I'd love to see that. They did install a mega charger at Frito-Lay in California. So I thought that was pretty interesting. We may see some of these on the road finally. Finally. So Elon's like only, 2 years late or something? I remember when Smith was buying red trucks in 2003. I like companies that don't have white trucks. White trucks are so common. Hey, Alexandra. Hello, Trucking Answers family. Hope you're doing well, Mark. Yes, finally doing better. It's good to see you today. Everybody bundled up out there. Did you hear about the flatbed driver that got killed by his load over in San Diego? Is that the one that slid forward on the load where it basically penetrated the cab? The load went through the cab of the truck. Is that the one that I'm thinking about? I don't remember if that was in San Diego, though, or if this is some other driver that got, creamed by his load. Cash King Trucking is here. Hey, now. Hey, what's going on? Is there still construction on I-70 by the Natty? No, because I-70 doesn't go through Cincinnati. So, no. I don't think I could work for a mega carrier. Remember, 96% of carriers have 25 drivers or less. So you certainly don't have to if you don't want to. Six-pack, that's why I work for a small company. That's almost everybody works for a small company, ironically. People start out at a large company. Then if they make it through, they get to the small company. If they are smaller, certainly, than, 15,000 trucks or whatever. People can then get to a reasonably sized place that serves their purposes. So Frito-Lay, California will be using more oil inside the building than their trucks. That's what they'll say, except all the oil they use to run the power generation or however they generate the power there. White trucks are common. I have to say my first truck with prime fuchsia, easy to pick out in a parking lot. Right. White car is the most common car color too. And I think it's because of fleet sales, really. So that puts more of them in the used market, and then there's more of those cars. But, people don't buy them new that much, white, personally, for their own cars, I don't think. I've had a couple of white cars, not a fan. Can't get all the sparkles in them and stuff, and so just not a fan of them. And then I had a couple black cars, not a fan, because in the summertime, there are 32 billion degrees inside. And they make the steering wheel out of something that absorbs heat very efficiently. Let's make the steering wheel absorb all the heat that there is in the car, so you can't barely touch it. And like my Focus was a stick, so the top of the gear shift lever, I don't know why they made it out of whatever the material is. It was like would burn the pattern into the bottom of your hand, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern. So super awesome. I actually covered it up. Of course, you got laughed at. I hitchhiked back in the 70s in Europe in the 80s. Right? Yeah, I think that was the end of hitchhiking as we know it. Picking up someone in your truck, not a great idea. Okay, don't do those kind of things. It was in a subdivision in San Diego. The driver hit his brakes and the load of the steel slid forward and slammed into his cab. Yeah, okay, so, yeah, that's what I thought. I saw a picture of that and I thought, wow, that's terrible. Be very careful hauling these loads. And I'm surprised that it went through the front of the trailer or whatever. Can you make a right turn in the outside lane of a double right turn lane? You should always be in the outside lane on turns. I like red cars or medium shades of gray, Luke. Yeah, something that's got sparkles. I like them to be all sparkly. I just do. In the summer when you get them all cleaned up in that, so I want some kind of metallic paint. Cash King Trucking, goodness. Tip your host, Scallywags. Can't get my Mountain Dew. Pepsi truck is waiting on Tesla charging station. Yeah, right, exactly, because they can't get these trucks going. Thank you, and I appreciate that. Yeah, so soon it'll be delivered by electric. Won't that be great? Won't it feel better that way? Don't you feel like you're doing something for the environment by supporting them? You covered the story on your channel? All right. People can go catch it over there. I thought I did read something about it. And I thought, man, that's always the nervous part of hauling a flatbed. Is the load going to kill you? Is it going to fall over on you? Or when you're driving, is it going to come and run you over in your own truck? You hear about the tanker driver that ran in transit heat on a load of water and boiled it out of the tank in Michigan? Ran in transit heat. Oh, in transit heat and boiled it out of the tank? Really? Does it get that hot in there? No, I didn't see. Like red, purple, and pink cars. Wow. Purple and pink is like a unique color that you're going to have to keep for a while. That's got to be a tough sale later. Red, okay. But the purple and pink, wow. But that's why they make them in all different colors. You want an ice blue Gladiator. Oh, that'd be all right. Could take a light blue. Pepsi is electric. Right, it's the taste of a new generation. Red vehicles are an eye magnet for cops. Well, it depends what you're doing, right? So don't be driving like you're an eye magnet. Correction, right turn in the outside lane at a right red after stop. If it's a double turn lane, be on the outside lane of a turn, right or left turn. Be on the outside lane for the turn and then get into whatever lane you need. Yeah, absolutely. In Minnesota, you can make the right from the usually on a right on red. It's the inside lane that they allow that to do. In Minnesota, you can make the right from the leftmost right turn lane if not marked otherwise. Cash King Trucking, all right? And remember what I always say is no matter what the lines on the ground are or whatever, take as much of the road as you need to not run things over like curbs and pedestrians waiting for the bus, stuff like that. You know, I cannot tell you the people I see running curbs and stuff. Go wide. And that's in honor of John Madden because that's like a football-ish kind of term. Go wide. Isn't there like a wide receiver and stuff? So used to meet some nice lady hitchhikers. Chris, oh my gosh, how nerve-wracking would that be as a woman to go hitchhiking? Yikes. The rates will go up because the power bill will go up. Flat Highway, yeah. But, you know, California, I'm sure there's tons of incentives for them in California to get those trucks. So I don't know what they'll pay. They might have some kind of deal where they don't have to pay for the electricity. Roger Penske, I'd rather stay in a motel than the truck. You just have to plan better. I've never seen a truck stop that doesn't have several acceptable motels and usually a Mahatma Motor Inn. I would like to stay in the Mahatma Motor Inn. If you are at a motel and there is no clerk and you have to ask them for your key through the window outside, okay, that's not an acceptable motel. I like white trucks. They stay cooler in the summer. That is true, right? The lighter colors were always cooler, but I don't like white trucks because there's too many of them. Same with a car. The white car I had was cooler, but, you know, I'll take a darker car, and it turns out I just run the air conditioning in it and tint it. I tint the cars, and that does help keep it cooler. Did you see the BMW that changes colors with the weather? Yes, I did see the BMW, and they also are going to have a paint that you'll be able to change with an app, which at BMW they'll probably charge a monthly fee for. And I'm surprised the police haven't said anything about it yet because they're looking for a blue car, and now the car is red or whatever, or pink, right, to whatever color you want to change it to. So I'm surprised the police don't say something. It's on your registration what color your car is. JL Trails, I drive a white 2022 International and love it. I would switch this truck for anything. All right. Look, some people like it, but it's just not for me. White is just, they're too common. They're everywhere, and so I want a color other than the white truck colors. I like the motel keys that come with a hubcap or a brick. They're attached to a hubcap. Wow, Buick. Airflow. I haven't seen one of these. I don't know, Cash. I drive a white truck on I-10, and the trick is to run the air conditioning in the sleeper. That's true. In the summer, I do that too. In the heat of summer, or if it's very humid, I'll keep the sleeper air clicked on throughout the day, and so the whole truck stays cool. I agree with that. And even in the dead of winter when it's super cold, run the sleeper heater. Have the fan blowing back there. It keeps nice and warm in there. The manhole inn always have free rooms and free parking. That's true. Flat Highway, always free parking at the manhole. Never a charge. Parking in the rear. Got to head out today. Have a great day and a happy Monday. All right, early. GP Transco. Yeah, go say hello to all those people. That's a full room of people back there. All right, and get some of the pictures of those Volvos. That'll be super great. Thanks for being here today. For information here about GP Transco, right there. How about that? There is some info for everybody. You can be in the next class of 16 there. Lots of hitchhikers have been hanging around the manhole lately looking for a ride. Yes. How can they be holding out their thumb with their hands in their pockets is the question. Trucking with Joker. God bless all of you and safe travels. All right. Well, thank you for that. I like the ones that change as you move around it, but I'll never own a new car like that, Joan Harper. Yeah, as you look at them different, there are some car colors that do that. And the color looks like a different color. If it's light and you get to the dark side, it looks different. Yeah. They charge a lot extra for those colors, too. I mean, some cars have $1,495 extra just for the paint. That's more than I've paid for some cars. So, Alexander, your truck is maroon and black. That's nice. See, so you don't have to have the same colors as everybody else. I like that way better. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, and that's how I see things. There's nothing wrong with that. Oh, absolutely. Right. I mean, look, if you like it, I'm all for it. And that's why they make them in all different colors. Just for me, I'd rather have one that's not white. But my truck is white, ironically. So we don't have many that are not white. So I end up driving one because it's not mine. But, if I was paying for it, it wouldn't be white. But they make them in different colors, just same as a car. All the people are like, oh, I don't like your car color. And, well, okay, that's why they have all these different colors of cars. I totally agree. And options and everything else. I'm 100% with that. Roger Penske, my trip last week to Salt Lake City, I used the rear heat. Right. I bet you did. Right. But that's a thing in the winter. Once it gets really cold, leave the sleeper heater running when you're driving. And that'll keep it nice. Plus, it's nice and warm when you get to bed back there. Al Johns wants a 74 Ford F100. Wow. Where will you find that now? They all rust. They were all used. Back then, people didn't drive pickup trucks around like they do now, which is, as it's a single person, just to go to work in. I'm going to spend $80,000 to commute in a pickup truck. Then it was actually a work truck. So you're going to have a tough time finding one that didn't rust away or get all beat up with work. I'm sure they're around. The place I look for all that kind of stuff, Auto Trader. Alexander, it looks gray and brown because of all the road salt. That's the problem right now, right? And then you don't want to wash it at 10 below zero. You won't get back in it. So always a problem. And I can always see the trailers because I'll pick a trailer up that I know was in that storm in Kentucky last week. There'll be those trailers this week with the big blobs of salt that went all up on them. I got lucky on that. Is GP Transfer the only trucking company that embraces social media? What about Crete? They're big on social media, I will say. Some companies are out on social media, and they should be way more than they are. It's a good way to reach drivers where they are and can answer questions for them. GP Transco is one of the only companies that's ever come here and will answer questions honestly when drivers ask them, which I find to be pretty amazing. So I can't even write to half the companies and get them to answer a question for me straight. Yeah, but they're big on social media because it's all, if you go up there to GP Transco, it's up there like it's all modern. And so they're like, well, this is where people are, so let's go talk to them where they are. Flat Highway, I had to flirt my way out of a ticket. He gave me a level 1 inspection and his number. All right. Well, hey, whatever gets you out of a ticket, right? You love the old dent side forms. That's what it would be, too. Get a 3 on the tree with that one. It's nice to see the sun after 5 days of rain. I know I'm looking down and seeing the sun down here. I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. And Saturday was all ice disaster. Not for you. I don't think it iced all the way down there. But up here it was an ice mess. White trucks when you need a truck wash. John, I think you need a truck wash all the time. So, and that's the thing. But though if you don't get it clean, like my, what did I have in that car? Oh, my Escort. One of my Escorts was white. You had to really clean it. You couldn't just wash it off, right? It had to be really clean or it would still look dirty. And it was just a real problem. Volvo says you have 500 options of a paint color if you build a truck. Oh. So they're like the Rolls Royce of colors. So you can tell them, look, we want that truck to match this truck's color. All right. It keeps the floor warm back there. All right. So you can get back there with your bare feet, right? Certain man, no wisecrack here. Alabama is the only state where a family reunion is considered a speed dating event. Nice. Church Transportation and Logistics is on Facebook. Are they active on Facebook? Meaning, do they do a live, anything live? I think companies should do at least every week or two. They should go live themselves for half hour or an hour, maybe at different times of the week, and answer questions that way that drivers might have questions. Just pop on their live and just chit-chat with drivers. I think it'd do great for companies, every company. Some of them don't want to talk to drivers. They don't want to answer questions. That's who you work for. Do they go live on there? That's the question. Chad, hey, hello. Hey, what's happening out there? Is it all iced up where you are? Oh, by the way, I got interviewed today by Business Insider. So that was a lot of fun. So we've been talking, and I got interviewed by Business Insider, and I'll let you know if whatever comes up of that. That was a blast. She was in England, which was super fun. I thought, oh, it's like an international thing. So Business Insider interviewed me today about the trucking shortage. That should be fun. I'll let you know if she prints it or whatever. She's going to keep me informed, doing an update story on the trucking story that they did before. George Wilson, a police officer, told me the vehicle description is actually secondary because they want description of driver. Vehicles do not drive themselves. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. I know it's on the registration, though. It says what color the car is. So, like the BMW, which you can change colors of the car. So, in an app, you can change the color. I wonder what they'll put in the description. Maybe changeable or variable, something like that. They'll have a term for it in the state. Each state will say, it's driver, up to the driver, something that way. Oh, they're very active on there? Okay, good. Good. As long as they answer questions, honestly, of people that ask them, they're 100% ahead of most every other place where you can email them and they won't answer questions for you. Does church give out a Bible at orientation? No, I doubt it. I don't think that would work out good. That's the Gideons. How about Kentucky? 1 week tornadoes, next week -9. It's 9 of snow. Yes. And Kentucky turned out just like Virginia. Did you see that? So everybody stuck in Virginia saying, oh, problem. Kentucky. Now, I was watching the weather. I knew all about it. And I watched down there. We had a bunch of trucks stuck down there. Idiots, right? I don't know why they're down there. And lines, miles and miles of cars and trucks stuck on 64 and 75 and that down there. I don't get it. Do people are not able to see the weather? ET Transportation has a YouTube channel. But is that the ones that do videos and stuff about like why this lease operator makes more money than a company driver, that kind of thing, those kind of things. Oh, and the one where they had the woman on there, because I wrote, if that's the company, right, I wrote to them about that. Remember that video? She did a video where she said, oh, I love it because I go into truck stops and men buy me food. I don't have to buy food and stuff. I think that was them. And I'm like, are you saying women should become drivers to basically have men buy them food? Is that why women? I thought we're all equal here. So, and they didn't respond, which is nice. I'm working in the NordVPN sponsorship. I could use that too, I think. Chad, it's clear around Gary, Indiana. Oh, nice. My hometown up there, Hammond. So you're close to me. Zigzag. That's what I say from growing up there. Wherever you go, zigzag up there. Let me rephrase the question. How many trucking companies are willing to talk to Mark? Well, that's true. Some of them, I'll just have a question about stuff that they've posted, and then they just won't answer. If you slip on your way to a Lowe's, should you have been on duty for workers' comp? Oh, that's interesting. That would be a lawyer question. No, I don't, but I would say, if you're at the Love's for work, even if you're not working right then, I consider that work. So I don't know what a lawyer would say about it, though. That depends on what a lawyer would think about it, and for all that it's worth, right there, right. Now you can always see an attorney or contact your local FMCSA field office for more information about that. I think you should get it. I'd certainly apply for it. That I would do. What does GP mean in GP Transco? That's a good question too. I don't have any idea. I don't know. And they're not here. They left early, so I'm not sure. Cheese haulers are cheesy. Nice. I disagree with a lot of stuff VP Transportation puts up. Me too. Especially that. I mean, that was like a degrading video to women. When they had that woman, I dress this way and then men buy me food. I'm like, what is it? What kind of thing is that? That's why you should become a truck driver, to have men buy you food? I thought, wow. So they never answered me. It's called Yakima, Washington to L.A. load of apples. Great show. Leo's Madness. All right, well, thank you very much. Apple time. Boy, they just pick those apples now? No, they're in the back frozen somewhere. Let us pray for the windshields that have boiling water poured. Do not pour boiling water on your windshield ever. Okay, do not ever do that in the wintertime. You're going to be buying a windshield and on a car. Let me tell you, they can run $1,000 now because they have to recalibrate all your cameras and all the other electronic equipment that's stuck to the inside that points out, probably in the semi too, because some of them have that stuff now too. So windshields are not something that some guy from a van, can come over and do necessarily. If you buy her Country Pride, she's going to have to butter my bread. Hey, butter that bread. In November 2020, Andy quit his job at AutoWorks. Instead of mailing his final pet check, the employer sent him a pennies. I saw that, right. Pennies were covered in oil. That company's being sued for that. They didn't pay him. The other problem with that is they didn't pay him for a while. He complained, and that's the only reason that guy come and pay him, his boss. You have to pay people their final paycheck, period. Okay, and if you don't, you go complain to the government like this. He then dumped a bunch of pennies in this guy's driveway, covered in oil. That added up to the correct amount of money. The government is now going after that company for fines for retaliation. You can't do that. Always let the government do your dirty work on this kind of stuff. You don't have to get a lawyer. Just go complain to the government and let them do your work. The Bible from the Drake Hotel in Chicago, they stamped it, didn't they, those Gideons? I don't know. I don't know about that. I mean, that's what it says in there. I'm from Memphis, ran around West Memphis, and driven through a bunch of states, but Gary was rough. I was concerned, to say the least. That's why we moved. That's why I moved, at least me. That's why I moved out of there years ago. Was, like I said, somebody tried to steal my Fairmont, and that was about all of it. Really. I don't even know why that is turned on, so my apologies for that. Oh, because I was trying to figure out how I was going to get the internet back on. We'll get that turned off in a second. Yeah, So that's why I left out of there. I can't take it anymore. I'm not going to live somewhere where I'm in fear every day, like, oh, I'm going to be killed or whatever up here. That's just not going to happen. So, all right, so that's the end of that. What a mess today. I heard Jared from Subway's not Jared at Swift. I don't know about that. Isn't he still in jail? I think he hasn't gotten out yet, that guy. Does everybody, that's what I'm going to ask you, since they brought this up again. How many hours a day do you have on the drive line? Okay, drive line per day, would you say you average? Because they're saying again that the country would be more productive if people drove more, and that they're saying companies should schedule people better. And they're saying the average over-the-road driver does 7 hours of drive time per day. That's it. 7 hours. So is that correct? That's, not much, I thought. I hear about everybody running out of hours and can't find parking because they're out of hours. So I don't understand. So how many hours does everybody average per day? I know on the road, because I would always try to get long loads. So I do a day's worth of driving, which would be 9 to 10 hours. Because I don't like to run right up at the end. But so, when you have a whole day of driving, you're putting down some miles. Is everybody doing more than 7 hours a day? Is this guy right that's doing this article? That quote is by Jim Phelps of Mission Impossible, 1996. All right. I'm not sure about that. So, I cannot have my windshield replaced by a guy in a van down by the river. Yeah, people think, oh, I'll spend $113 and have some van show up. That says candy on the side of it. That's the thing of it. You can't do that anymore. An extended warranty on the Escape, I got glass coverage in it just because I know that stuff's so expensive. So all the glass is covered for 1 million miles at Ford. It could be replaced at a Ford dealer, and the dealer will take care of everything. Gear Jammer 10.75. That's more what I was thinking. At 7 hours, how many miles a day are people getting? 300 or 400 miles a day only? Is that why nobody is making money according to what the government is saying? Those people from Nord, right? They're like, hey, what is it? Why don't you have NordVPN? 700, 800, 900 miles a day. So you're doing a little more than 7 hours, right? We could drive more if shippers would load better. Well, they were saying that trucking companies need to schedule better, right? And I agree with you that the shippers and stuff would hold people too long. But that is still a company problem. I think that's a company issue. I'm regional and probably average 8 or 9 hours. Everybody's over 7 hours. And if people are averaging 7, that means some people are getting 5, right? 3. I finished the week with 0 on my 70. Wow. How many hours of that was drive time? Because he's saying drive time. How do you split that? It can't be 70 driving hours. On duty eats up a lot of time. It does, depending. Glitter Sparkle, 10 hours a day. Do you know too simple as a driverless cab right now driving Arizona Interstate 10? Yes. They're brought Tucson right to Phoenix or whatever. Absolutely. Yeah. They got a lot of permissions for that. They had the police follow them around and stuff, but they do. That day is coming. But look where they are. Sunny most of the time. Weather good. They can't figure out this snow and stuff. People couldn't even drive their car in the snow. What would a driverless truck have done? I guess it would just sit there because it can't move. Drive time not the issue. Just allow the load to arrive when it gets there. Stop the appointment times. Oh, that would be good. Yeah, because some of it you have way too much time on it. This article was about drive time. That's why I'm asking. I think 70 hours in 8 days should be up to 80 hours in 8 days. I'm not on the road to sit here and count the candy bars at truck stops. I'm out here to work. Okay. How about what if it was 14 hours a day and no matter what you did? Would that help everybody? Because it's already 14 hours. So what about you figure out how to use your 14 hours? You want to drive 14 hours? Drive it. That would increase the time. And how about this? Reduce the 34 hours off to 24 hours off after 80 hours. I don't like working that much, but that would increase the amount of work that you could do. 14 hours and you figure it out. If I have the time, I'll run 600 miles or more, Alexandra. So more than 7. Everybody's doing more than 7 hours. Yeah, 600 miles a day, then people are making some money. And if we ran this to 14 hours, maybe you could do 700 or 750 miles a day, still in the same amount of time. Because leaving it to 14 hours, it's already 14 hours. So nobody has to work anymore. You might as well, have that extra time to do what you want with. It's snowing hard in Defiance, Ohio, Flat Highway. Really? Thank goodness it's only sun here. I did a Dollar General delivering Gary. Nice. And I had police watching me, making sure no one stole the toilet paper from my trailer one. Is there no toilet paper? Meyer is full of toilet paper. So I'm back up to my 50 roll, stash. So no problems with that. That's pretty sad. If the police have to come to protect you from delivering at the Dollar General, I mean, what are people going to steal out of there? Man, we stole $32 of stuff out of that truck. I mean, what are you going to do with it? Toilet paper guards. My company hammers me. I pretty much have to do a 34-hour each week. See? So you're getting plenty of time in. 1 week I run 40 hours average on Driveline. Next week I run 55 on Driveline. You're still over 7 a day. So that's good. At least everybody is doing that. Extended warranty is called an in-frame, not on a car. Some car dealers use the guy in the van. I guess they could, but either way, even so, if they have the guy in the van come, they still have to calibrate all the cameras and stuff and sensors on the thing, and it has to work, or it goes right back to them. So they would have to get it all figured out. And it doesn't cost anything for 1 million miles. GP Transco, general purpose Transco, that's what the GP means. Just general purpose in the company's name. That seems so like generic. I thought it meant something, I don't know. I just was expecting something bigger, maybe like a person's name or something. I don't know. Schuster Trucking, you can't get these kids in a van with candy anymore. They're too health conscious. Paint-free Wi-Fi on the site. Free Wi-Fi. Hey, there's free, and here's the code, the passcode to get in it. Then they'll be there, so they can catch those birds that are flying around. A flat highway about 8 to 9. The rest is loading and unloading the tanks. Okay, so all right, everybody's more than 7. So where are these drivers doing 4 hours a day? Because if you're going to average 7, there have to be drivers on the other side of that too. Bed and sleep sound great right now, Joan Harper. That's what the cat might say. But it's time to be up at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The cat would appreciate that, though. Elon says his electric truck would prevent jackknives because each wheel has control. There are 4 motors on the tractor. That is true. Each axle end gets its own motor. I got assigned a 2022 Mac, not even 20,000 miles. An injector that warms the DEF motor got stuck, thus derating it. Yeah, so you have this DEF problem. Same thing. Same as every other, all these other trucks. Who knows when you're going to get one of those. Cash is Ski Trucking, you hit the like button. I appreciate it. Nope, I'm not working anymore hours. Joe Biden can pick up my slack. That's good of him. For the 14, which a number of people have written to me, I'm like, we can already work 14, so why not just let you do whatever you want with the 14 hours? If it's drive time or on duty or however you want to split it up. That gives people with the same amount of time and gives them another 3 hours a day to drive, basically, without working any more hours. So I like 550 miles a day. Yeah, that's pretty good. Take out the 30-minute break. The 30-minute break is kind of ridiculous because of 8 drive hours. I agree. I see what they're doing, but that is ridiculous. I agree with you. Take that out so you can work the whole day. People, you're going to stop anyway. Nobody's going to drive 14 hours straight, it would seem like. Not when you get that, 120-ounce Love's mug of dew that you fill up in the morning. Nobody's making 14 hours with that thing sitting down there. 34 hours off is a joke. When it was 24, it just made more sense. Now your sleep schedule's all messed up. Right. Remember, for a while, remember this? When you had to do 2 1 to 4 a.m.s in it? Remember that for a little bit? That was a few years ago now. You had to get 2 consecutive 1 to 5 a.m.s. That's what it was. 1 to 5 a.m.s had to be 2 consecutive ones. That was a great deal, too. Paladin runs out of 70 hours in a week, so nobody's really doing 4 driving hours a day. They must only be talking to like ABF drivers that have 400 stops and drive 12 miles. Cash is King, 8 hours on the drive line for me, on the D line. All right. Well, what would giving you the 14 hours overall help anybody? That was back during the toilet paper shortage. I know I was down into the 20 roll range, getting nervous. But back up to 50 roll stash. Maybe the 7 hours average is counting P&D. It must. They must count like UPS drivers that drive 17 miles. Brother Mike, hey, any opinions on First Express out of Nashville? I don't know anything about First Express. I wonder if they have anything to do with the U.S. Express. Probably not. Kevin, California gives you 16 12-hour days as long as you don't leave the state. One per restart. That's everybody. All local drivers get a 16-hour day once a week. And it's not just for leaving the state. It's for as long as you return to your departing location every day. You have to be released from duty from the location that you start every day. And then you can get a 16-hour, because I've used them occasionally, very infrequently, but especially in the winter, you'll get those sometimes. It doesn't increase your drive time, though, which is unfortunate. Yeah, how could toilet paper is now a high-value load? No one can drive 14 hours. Their bladder will make them take a break. Flat Highway writes, you're going to take a break anyway. Well, because you go in and fill up that Love's mug, right, 120 ounce or whatever, and you sit there and just hit the Mountain Dew thing, fill that thing up. Or pour how many ever cans of like Full Throttle will fit in that thing? Pour those in there. Just fill it up with ice at the truck stop and then pour like 12 cans of Full Throttle in it. I ran my 70 out in 6 days, Alexander, so then you got a break anyways. So, but that's good. That's how people making money. They're saying there's major food shortages, Joan Harper. Who's saying that? I was at Meijer, and there's a little bit of a cat food shortage, I will say. But that's because they can't get the cans. So I'm buying the bagged food now, wet bags of food, and there's plenty of food. I will say Meijer's stocked up with food, and walking around looking at people, everybody seems to have enough food. So I don't know where the food shortages are. Al Johns, I had to work 80 hours last week. Yikes. 16 hours a day, 5 days. I do not recommend it. I worked my office gig, then drove 8-9 hours at night. It was logged. I was going to say, if you worked in the office and then drove, you'd have to log all that time, sir. So how did that work? The problem, think about this. In an accident, right, you're going to have a problem. You will have a problem. So I really think that is something to consider. The guy that ran into Tracy Morgan, okay, went to jail, and he was legal because they said he was tired and shouldn't have been driving, even though he was legal. If you didn't log part of that time to office time because they're paying you, right? That's compensated work. So, and you get an accident, that's jail. That guy, as far as I know, that guy might still be in jail. He got involuntary manslaughter for that. So it's something to think about. The goal is to hurry up, and the 150 air miles you couldn't do 150 air miles because you were not released within 14 hours of your starting time at your location. So, because of all the other work that you did, which is compensated. All I'm asking you is to be careful. Plus, you don't want to be too tired and kill somebody, but the other side, you can end up in jail for that. The goal is to hurry up and drink the 128-ounce beverage. You can reuse the cup. Oh my gosh. Reuse the cup. It's empty and just fill it back up. Is that why that whole lid comes off? There's no Wiener shortage. That's true. I had a big turkey sausage I got there yesterday. The sleeper brake nulls 14 hours if you use it together with off-duty brakes. Works out well for me, plus agriculture exception. No, it never really not run. Yeah, if you had the ag exemption too, Leo's Madness, you could almost drive forever, basically. If you work them together and know the whole system, that's how you win any game. All you have to do is know the rules of the game, and you can win the game. How many times a day does Mark comb his beard? Trivia question. Answer, probably 0. Middle management, corporate, sunk up problems. That's true. That's true, but remember, compensated work's logged. You know that. All I'm saying is that for your own person, the wrong thing happens. Somebody hits you. It could be jail. That guy went to jail that hit Tracy Morgan's bus, and he was at 13 hours, 51 minutes or something. Close, but he was still legal. Went to jail for it. Charming rice not available at Meijer. Jay Smith. Along with various types of beans. What is lower quality? What is beans and charming rice? I don't even know what charming rice is. Always in the rear loading. The bladder buster bottle. So you empty it and then you can just fill it back up. It's funny. Why is there more in there when you fill it than when you started? Can't you only drive 11 hours but have 14 hours to do it? William, that's correct. And so what I'm saying is that since you can get 14 hours anyway, why not let people do whatever they want with the 14 hours? That doesn't increase anybody's work time, really, because they're already allowed that amount of time. And so if you only need to load, like days when you don't load, you can drive the whole day, right? So that's why I like these coast-to-coast loads. I don't have to worry about anything. What if you could drive 14 hours that day? Get a few extra hours of driving in? That's not bad. You're even supposed to log a second job. Joe, this, you log any compensated work. Any compensated work or anything you do for a motor carrier, whether it's compensated or not. That's what the FMCSA says. I average 7 hours, less miles, more money per mile is the name of the game. All right, you're the first one on here. And that is true. As long as you make it, it doesn't matter how long it takes. Al Johns, I appreciate it. I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm just saying is, at those kind of hours, somebody hits you. Ken Nunn and the Hammer are going to be all over that. They already have your accident report. That's what Ken says on TV here. Sam, Mark, you're allowed to use your personal conveyance leaving home to get your load. Or does it vary? You're allowed to go to work. You could PC to go to work. I like my turkey sausage hot. You have to go back to wherever you PC'd from to start with. So we can't do a double PC. So you say you go to your terminal and then go home. You can't then go from your house to a load, right? You got to go back to the terminal on PC. I'm going to listen to my Blue Parrot while I walk around the Harbor Freight Hardware Store, Schuster Trucking. I need a rechargeable LED flashlight for my early morning pre-trips. All right. They have rechargeable LED flashlights? I mean, those things last forever. I have a couple of those little LED flashlights. I don't think I've replaced batteries in years in them. Heard California and Kentucky and Texas. Really? There's food shortages? No, I'll tell you. If you come by here, you can park at the Meyer on I-65 at exit 172. There's truck parking. They'll let you park on the side of the place, and there's plenty of food in there. So just walk right in there and do all your shopping. They'll let you sleep there all night, too. So there's extra parking there if you're coming up I-65 headed to Chicago. I thought it was 150 air miles in the Wild West. I'm going to have to look that up. 150 air miles. Yeah, 150 air miles for everybody would be local work, but you have to be released from the place you start from. Oh, jasmine rice. All right. Charming. Yeah, I thought charming rice is rice with manners. I'm like, boy, you look great today. I'm like, well, this rice is very charming. I love your petticoat. I put a donut on a bear trap and the cop was not happy. Flat highway. See, that's how we get in trouble. John Harper, I haven't been to a store lately. Will be tomorrow as I get my food stamps tomorrow. All right, well, head on out there tomorrow. And if you have do you have a Meijer down there? Maybe. There's plenty of stuff at Meijer, at least up here. There's not been a lot of shortages that I've seen of really anything. Other than a little cat food shortage. Any compensated work, however poorly compensated. That's true. That's true. I don't know if people are poorly compensated because people get what they accept. So I'm not sure. But either way, if you're compensated for work, and they define work as employment, keep that in mind as well. Because people said, oh, don't you have to log Uber? No, they don't define Uber as employment. You're independent. And a lot of the time, you just sit there and do nothing. So no. Geeks Trucking, I'm back on the road. Home time's over. All right. Back on the road with the rest of us. Let's do it. Next off day, Memorial Day. Georgia Pacific back to Washington. Yikes. Back to Washington. That's a good place to go. I did see that the roads right now are pretty good. Right now, there's not a lot of backups going on. All 80, 90, 94 look pretty good compared to last week at this time. So that's good. I get my food stamps from the dumpster. There's been some good food. I've gotten some donuts over the years, dumpster diving behind the Dunkin' Donuts. So they throw, at the end of the day, they throw all the donuts out. Did you know that? You can just go back there. They don't lock the dumpster, which doesn't make any sense. To me, anyways. Bob Saget, all right. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, no, they did a survey on Alaska transportation, and you know what they said? It's cold and snowy. Super hilarious. They do a survey in the state of Alaska about the transportation system. They find out that the roads are snow-covered much of the year, and it's really cold and hard to remove the snow from them. I'm like, wow. These scientists and the people that they hire to do this, it's amazing. Florida intrastate, hours of service is 12 drive and 16 total per day. Curtis J. Transport. All right. Must stay in the state, though, so you'd have to only the state rules. Hours of service is just a way for the government to control an industry. They don't care about giving the I-70 driver a CDL. No, sure, right. They don't care. No, absolutely not. That's all the government ever does is control people, but we allow it. Right? The government can't do anything we don't allow them to do. There's elections all the time. Does anyone remember when an owner-operator let FMCSA director Ann Farrow do that ride-along like 6 or 7 years ago? Where's the time gone? Oh, kind of. I kind of remember that, yeah. We're like 12 directors since then, though. I mean, that's been quite a while. Many directors since then. Geeks Trucking. That almost looks like Gracie, except this cat's awake. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. Right, Gracie? She isn't even moving. I got a poker every once in a while. Thanks, Mark, for answering. Another driver and I were talking about it, so I wanted to verify. Sam, yeah, you're quite welcome. Seriously, I left from the same place I started from, but the hours might be too many. That's what I'm saying. I get it. That's really good to know. I really don't want to do that again. Yeah, plus 5 16-hour days in a row is a really long week at any job, driving or not. Right? I mean, that's a total drag. That's 2 jobs. You know, there's a Meyer in Clarksville. All right, I would take the last train there and head over there. It's my favorite place, Meyer. Why pay more? The manhole's hiring delivery drivers. That's very good. City Bus here is cutting routes, which is the local bus service, really, because they can't get drivers. They just can't. They said they cannot get any drivers. They've been trying to hire drivers. And so they're going to start cutting routes now because they just don't have enough people to drive. And so I looked up what they started paying. $18 an hour is what it starts at. And then after a couple of years, you're at $25.17. That takes a couple of years. So they're starting at 18. Hobby Lobby here in town, as we know, just raised their pay to $18.50. So the 16-year-old at Hobby Lobby that helps you get your cardboard to make a birdhouse out of or whatever gets 50 cents more than a licensed CDL driver with a passenger endorsement driving people around the town. And the bus company is union. So I don't understand that. And that may be their problem of hiring people. Any current Walmart account for the Smith Transport? Going to orientation tomorrow. All right. Sometimes we get a Smith driver, although I haven't seen him today. And I know they pay more on Walmart. It's a nickel or 5-10 cents, something like that on Walmart. But I don't know that much about it. If you get on the Walmart account, though, they do pay extra. But that driver that's normally here is not here today. Is the manhole hiring receiving clerks? You don't even need an application for that. Just go on in there. Really sure about that. I think if we didn't allow the government to do something, they would call us racist. They can only do things that you allow them to do. Boot them out of office. How about that? Then they have nothing to do. They're only there because we put them there. Boot them out. Anybody that's in, nobody should get reelected next election. How about that? On both sides. I don't care who it is. Boot everybody out and start over. Let's risk a McDonald's for $15 an hour. Geeks Trucking. Exactly. Well, look, you're better off at Hobby Lobby. I think you're inside. You get Sundays off. And you don't have to deal with the public the same way you do it at McDonald's. At $18.50, it's 50 cents an hour. All right? I think that's better. Now, the bus here does not run overnight. So you don't have to do 24 hours a day on the bus company. But still, a Hobby Lobby for 50 cents? I'd rather work at Hobby Lobby. Then you got to go. They'll train you for the bus here too. They will train. You don't need a license or anything. They will go all the way through all the training. It's all paid, but it doesn't pay anything. It just doesn't pay anything. A lot of the job shortage is because no one wants to be vaxxed or masked. Maybe, and they do have to wear a mask driving the bus. I will say that. So that's a possibility. But I think for the bus, it's not near enough pay. I mean, I look at more, at maybe double the pay. I might consider it, but for 18. They're going to have a tough time getting people that are experienced to go do it, which is really who you should have do it. They're driving gigantic buses. They have articulated buses here in town, through town. And I'd rather they did experienced drivers doing that. My dad made $80,000 a year driving a truck in 1978. That's exactly right. And that's what I explained partly to a nice lady from Business Insider that we had an interview today. She was talking about the shortage and why there's a difficulty getting drivers and stuff. And I'm like, people made 5 times, well, not really 5, but, probably 3 times in real money than what they do now, 3 to 4 times then. And so 80 then, drivers now are crossing 80, 90,000 thinking it's great. Well, what if you made 80 in 1978? You wouldn't think 80 is great right now. You should be making 300,000 then. King Supers. All right. Yeah. Grocery store. In Denver is planning a worker strike. Higher ups are flying in workers to keep the stores open. So they have that money. Why don't they just pay the people more money? How about that? See, you shouldn't plan a strike like that where they know about it. You just walk out of the store. Even so, right? Higher ups are going to fly and work. What are they using, the Hirschbach plane? That's my question also. Think you have any yard sale at the truck stop? Got too much crap in my truck. Once you hoard up the truck, you kind of gonna sell it because you don't have any more room. You get it all filled up, hopefully not with pee bottles, and you got to get that stuff out of there. Plus, I don't want all that stuff flying at me in an accident. So if anything, put it on the passenger side. Careful, Mark. Talking like that, you might be summoned for a drug test, Stephen. Exactly correct. Right, and that's the thing of it. They don't want to be forced. That's the problem. I'll not be forced to do anything I don't want to do. I agree with you. And they don't have to be forced because they just wouldn't work there, which I agree with. But I think for the bus company, at least, I can't be the mask as much as the low pay. I think that kind of pay is really not acceptable, especially at a union job. They should. It's the workers again. Don't make the union push them on it, which they should. Hobby Lobby's open Saturday, not Sunday. John, yes, they are not open on Sunday. They're open Saturdays, but they're closed every Sunday, so not for you. I mean, if you need it reversed, then I guess that wouldn't be the job for you. Maybe you could tell me you need Saturdays off or something. If every state would put an extra wide on-ramp for every ramp, I think that would solve the parking issue. I don't know why every road that isn't built, new roads that are built, ought to have another lane for parking. Miles. I'm going down I-69 here, which we go back and forth all the time to go see our kids in Jasper, Huntingburg, and we go down I-69. The road is just in the middle of no place. Why isn't there another lane for parking? Miles and miles and miles. You park hundreds and hundreds of trucks down there. Nothing. There's no parking at all. There's not even a rest area. Now, if you sell that stuff, you'd have to pay taxes on all that income. Joan Harper. Oh, I'm sure that he would report all income that he receives from any sales because that would be the law, and it's, of course, the right thing to do. So, naturally, we all do that. Anytime something like that sells, you always report it. And Cash is King Trucking, being a good citizen, would, of course, report that, naturally. We're not making $300 a year because anyone in the world could come here and get a CDL. Supply and demand. Well, that's true. That's true. Maybe if we didn't let that happen, this wouldn't be as much of a problem, right? Well, it's interesting that. So what you're saying is that if you let people in that will work for less, that keeps the pay down for everybody else. So just by like letting people in, like so many thousands of people, like daily, that reduces everyone's average pay. It seems like that will reduce the cost for businesses and let them make more money. I don't know. Maybe they might like that. I would love to see Cash King yard sale. That would be pretty fun. See what's being sold over there. By the way, do not buy the used Love's cup that he's selling. I'm sick of giving the government money. Well, I mean, the government's doing all the good work that it can do for us, right? I mean, it certainly helped us lately. I mean, and the case went to the Supreme Court Friday, which will probably get a thing under this video now about, but the Biden mandate went to the Supreme Court Friday, and we're waiting to see what they have to say about it. So we'll see what happens with that. I was going to do a show Friday. Actually, it turned out I wasn't able to for different reasons, but nothing came of it anyways. So we'll see what they say. I think they're going to say something this week about it, about what happens with that. We'll see what the mandate says this week. You could do it as a yard raffle. Oh my gosh, the rules on a raffle, that you probably would get in trouble for. For instance, there's a job in Indianapolis that I wrote down for Transforce, which is a temp and a temp to permanent hire service. They have a local job for $30 an hour plus overtime plus a $15,000 bonus, which is paid $1,000 a month for 15 months. What do you think about that? So 60 hours there is $2,100 a week because of overtime plus your sign-on bonus of $15,000. So if you got 60 hours a week for your first year plus your $1,000 a month for the first year, of course, that would average you $2,330 per week. Okay, so not bad for a job to get started. Then the businesses fire and hire paid people. They should. And most of the things I saw at the yard sale would have been tax deducted already because it would have been for work. But yeah, I definitely pay the taxes on the used items that I sell. Well, absolutely. I mean, you keep accurate records of it, pictures and everything, and record it all. Yeah, because if you tax deduct it, and then what would you have to do? So you'd have to recapture any gains on it. But I'm sure you do all that because it's the right thing to do. John Am taxation is theft. Nice. It's nice that the scale at the Ohio-Indiana line on 74 allows truck parking. Not many other options. After that guy ran that scale over, they closed it, and I thought, well, let's open this thing up. But then I thought, some goober's going to go in the building, take pictures, and get hurt or something. But they finally cleared that building, and they do allow parking there overnight, which is nice. I don't think people should park on that ramp. I see that all the time. Go park in the scale. That scale house, I don't think it's going to open until spring, maybe summertime. They haven't done anything in there other than take the building down. Why are RVs allowed to take truck parking spots, Ronald? I think anytime you see that, you should go right into the truck stop and ask them that. Because this is truck parking for people that are trying to work and have a hours of service clock to follow. So I totally agree with you. Go in and ask them and say, why do you allow RVs to take my spot? I'm trying to make a living out here. Yes, I agree. Yeah, where's this Cash King yard sale? Let's get this. You should do that live. All adult DVDs are half price. It's very nice. Adult meaning their own adults acting in the RVs, in the DVDs, of course. What do you think? What do you think about that kind of place like a Transforce? Pretty good. $30 an hour plus overtime to get started. Now that's not what it was, but that isn't bad for a place. That's nearly twice what you would probably make driving the bus around at a union shop, and that's sad. That's pretty sad. When I saw it's like our bus driver and transportation union or something, because they make a big deal about it. That union job, and I'm like, what kind of union job pays $18 an hour? What's the point? Denny Hobbs, I work local 5 days a week and sleep in my bed every night, and for $2,000 a week. Why would I drive over the road? Local's the way to go. For the same money, I mean, some people have a reason to be out there, like to see the country or whatever, but otherwise, for the same money, especially if you have a family or anybody at home, it's time to be home. I mean, look, here's Bob Saget, 65. He dies. So you never know when that last day is, so spend as much of it with your family that you can. The IRS shut down a little girl's lemonade stand for not paying taxes. See, she should have wrote that down. I'm sure next year she'll learn. Maybe otherwise she goes to jail. I was parking that scale the other night, was the only one parked in the lot. The others were on the ramp. I know, Sam. See, that's the thing, Sam. They all fill up that ramp. There's tons of parking in there. That scale has a lot of parking. Go park in the parking spot. Why has everybody got to be out on the ramp like that? Do you remember the movie The Boy Who Could Fly? It was in the 80s. Joan Harper. No. The name is like familiar. The name seems familiar. But I don't remember the movie. Mr. John, and they don't have any... Yes, Mr. John, they don't have any skills that have runaway trucks killing people. Oh, Just, right, so don't open a lemonade stand. You won't have that problem. In Nebraska, they opened a lot of that construction company used as a parking lot for truck parking. It was the grassless area off the ramp. All that stuff should be paved, and parking should be made. There's plenty of room for parking with really little effort, but they won't do it. No, that's T-Force. Trucker gal. That is T-Force, right? You're thinking the Transforce is a temp service. It's nationwide. They run a lot of ads in Indianapolis, and they happen to be running this ad, and I thought, $30 an hour plus OT, 60 hours is $2,100. And then if you get that extra $1,000 a month bonus, that's $2,330 to be home every day. That isn't terrible at all. You're looking at $120,000, $115,000. At least ramp parkers aren't parking on the shoulder. I like the ramps less than, of course, shoulder isn't any good either, right? I see that too. Be off the road. I don't want people to get hit. You have to pay taxes on casino wins over $2,000. Well, no, you were supposed to report all income, right? They only make you pay by filling out a form, but of course, as a correct citizen, you are to report all income, which would include that income. So I'm sure you're going to want to do that immediately. You can go back a few years and file, a few years of amended returns or whatever to pay the amount you didn't pay. And you say, I realize I didn't pay this and I'm sorry, and send it in. That's what I would probably recommend for that, because I think that's the way to do it. I guess nobody heard about, maybe there's only MTS here. The way they wrote about Schneider buying MTS, I thought MTS was kind of nationwide thing. I didn't think of 160 a day is a way to attract people, which I've seen in their ads. $160 a day, it doesn't say how many hours that is. It's likely not some kind of 6-hour day or something. So, at 10 hours a day, that'd be really less than 16 because of overtime. Not really worth it. Don't even need it paved, just good gravel. Well, then drivers are going to be doing burnouts and getting low boys stuck in it, dragging stuff around. So that's why I want it paved. And what the government says, and they're right, is that they'd have to hire people in to clean these places up where trucks park, and that's a sad fact. But it turns out drivers may leave garbage around and, presents for people. And so we kind of destroy the place ourselves and then wonder why we can't get parking for places. Oh, well, I've destroyed this place. I wonder why I can't get any parking going on there. That's just the way that it goes there. Diesel was $3.61 average this week, up at like 0.3 cents. So it hardly went up. Gas, though, $3.12. So we're up 8 cents on gas from last week. Filled up the wife's car yesterday. I think they should open closed scales for truck parking. I don't know why states don't allow you to park in scales, other than the really tiny ones. Some states do. Kentucky, parking, right? Our Indiana scale here, parking. Some of them allow it, and then some don't. But they certainly all should. And once the scale closes down, like that one going north, I always wonder why they did this. That scale used to be an open scale north on I-65 at like the 241 or whatever. That scale years ago was a working scale, and then they closed it. It stopped being a scale, and now you can't go in there. I'm like, well, what they should have done is torn that building down and paved that whole thing over, mark lines in it, and let people park there, make like extra truck parking. But they don't allow you to go in there at all. It doesn't make any sense at all. And what might be happening is the truck stops in the area, maybe they gripe at the government about it. How about that? They go, if you open these other parking spots, people won't come in here and buy our high-priced items in our truck stops. So I think there's some of that going on too, and that companies are like, hey, you can't be opening up free parking for all these trucks. We want them to come in here and pay $25 to park in here and then buy our items in our truck stops here, our, chain mail and stuff like that. I think that's part of it. Say what is getting loaded in Atlanta? What is that? Where's that go off to? What's the thoughts on Old Dominion? People that write to me love Old Dominion. There's some of the highest paid people that write in to me as well. Old Dominion drivers. So, and a lot of them are home every day. It'd be worth looking into. They have some rules. I don't know if they have cameras. I think so. It's something you'd have to consider. But they do work out to be some of the highest paid people that write to me. Whether they're the highest paid people in the industry, I don't know. Because not everybody in the industry writes to me. But they pay for the grass to be cut, so they save in buying mowers and paying people. Transferred to a garbage collector. Nice. Louisville murder total was 188 for 2021. Is that a record? Did they finally set a record? That's only one every couple of days, basically. That's hardly anything. I mean, Gary can do that in a weekend. 10 days to 2022, and their murder is 5. See? They're keeping up with last year. Because 188 be one every other day. It's about time for them to have another one. I give them that. I'm impressed. Big Ben, come on, drivers, tip your host. Well, I appreciate that. Believe me. Thank you very much. I think the nation's interstate system should be for commercial vehicles only. But you're probably biased, Mr. Somewhere there. The thing is, it should be a speed. That's what I'd like to see, for it to be high speed movement of vehicles. So let's crank the speeds up out there. Give people an interstate license that you have to get to run on the interstate, and crank the speeds up so we can get somewhere. How about that? And if you cannot go that speed, you are removed from the interstate. Simple. And you'd have to get the special license or an endorsement, even for a car, so that you understood that when it says 80 or 90, that you have to go that fast or you can't stay out there. Get that Yugo, pop that Yugo into fourth, and let's go. CB should be free. Oh, that'd be nice. Get your CB coupon. Maybe they'll send one of those with the testing kits. In my state of Arizona, they're all truck parking when the rest area is under construction. Sign says truck parking only. That's how it should be, right? Let people park. It's the number one complaint that I get about, really. Parking. Hey, I can't park here. I can't park there. They told me to come here. There's no parking. That kind of thing. Arkansas prohibits parking on ramps. They prohibit it here, too. They just don't really enforce it as much as they could. It's illegal in Indiana to park on a ramp. It's like a $500 fine. But I don't see it being enforced much. Well, that's a record. Well, I would send them a card. I'd be like, congratulations, you guys. I mean, good job. 188. Nobody seems to care about that. 445 in California. Oh, sweet. They did say it'd be over $4 here by the summertime. So that's pretty good. 445 a gallon. And then with a 60-gallon tank on that pickup truck, yikes. Truck stops could sponsor each lot and be allowed to set up a mobile stand. Oh, my gosh. Then I got to be hassled at the truck stop by the TA. So it'd be like a public-private partnership. They already sponsor a lot, their own lot. And I don't know if they would, because I think they'd be worried about liability. If there was an accident or something, somebody would probably sue them, even though they say, oh, we're only sponsoring it or whatever. They probably would still get sued. So because of liability problems, I don't know if they would do that. I say that RVs can park in the truck parking, but only to CDL holders. No, because, they're not subject to hours of service. So only want the truck stop to be for trucks parking. Let them go park at a KOA campground. How about that? There's plenty of those around. A $500 paid in Wieners. Let's pay it off in Wieners. That'd be a lot, too. Government is not big enough. Yeah, don't they do enough for us already? I saw a sign that was over $6 a gallon for regular. Where was that going on? Even California, I don't know if it's up to $6. That'd be the place I would think it'd be, or maybe Hawaii. I know it's expensive out there. $6 a gallon? Whoo. People be rethinking that $85,000 pickup truck that they commute to work in, I think, when they're getting, 17 miles to the gallon or whatever those things get. They'll be like, wow, I need to get Mark Sonic to go to work now. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the way to do it. I think it'll be worth buku bucks at that time because of gas going so much. I can't imagine going to $6 a gallon for that kind of stuff. That would be pretty much ridiculous. Oh my gosh. Where did this go to for that? Even though I don't know what's going to go on, and I'm also not an attorney. Where did this, let's see where this is. Oh, right there, right. Where'd it go? There it goes. Right. She's going to have to hide from $6 a gallon. She can't believe it. All right, where'd that go off to? All right, so I got to put this back. All right, do something, then I have to go 12 clicks. Trying to be clever, and then that happens. Oh, that was in Los Angeles? I could believe that. It's funny a truck stop would move a truck from the RV spot, but not move an RV from the truck spot. Does that happen? So they come out there and go, hey, look, listen, there's going to be an RV parking here for free, so why don't you go in the back and take one of our reserved spots for $20? Do any truck stops charge RVs to park? Like up front where like some J's or whatever, they'll have a RV parking. Are those paid spots? I do think, though, that when they're parked in a truck spot, everybody should go in and ask them, why is this allowed here? Truck parking is a major issue in Atlanta. After the TA and Atlanta road pilot close, the other truck stops fill by 4 p.m. Right. And so you got to park 100 miles away or try and hope that the place you're going has parking so that you can get somewhere to park. I agree. It's a total disaster. And this, the only solution really is to go get a job where you're on some kind of dedicated run. I find that to be a good solution because then you know where you're going every day and you can get the parking figured out. Dedicated meaning same place, same time, same bad channel every day. Okay, I completed my paid 2-hour pre-trip. Nice. Nice to finally see you live, and thanks for making Mondays great again. Kevin, I appreciate it. Exactly. Paid pre-trips. Punch in, get paid. That's one of the things I really tried to stress with Business Insider is that, drivers are not paid. So we want to get paid. And to her credit, she's writing all that down and stuff. So Mr. Crowley, possibly Sam Crowley. Hello from sunny California. Wow, what's going on out there? The best part about having a small car like a Focus Is it so slow? If anyone steals it, I can catch them on foot. Al Johns. Yeah. This Focus. I had a couple of Focuses. They're pretty good. Pretty good. Good on gas. That's the thing. Gas. If you're going to commute, you should use the least amount of gas possible and commute the smallest amount of time that you really can. The average commute in America is like 22 minutes each way, something like that. Good morning, America. Afternoon, boys and girls. Sorry I'm late for class. Paul Cruz. Well, demerit's coming for you. Those are free. They are possibly only $6 again because people pay for it. When COVID first hit, gas went down because no one was driving. Yeah, gas was super cheap. Nobody was at the gas station. Now everybody's out with their gigantic pickup trucks again if they can get one. Golly gee, Batman, exactly. It's so bad in Atlanta you can't even park at the Werner terminal even if you work there. What do you mean by that? Look, so if your company has a terminal, like Werner or whatever, they should allow parking there. That would be the good part of working for a large place, is that most large places, I know, Swift has terminals all over the place. Werner should be the same. JB, they should have places to park everywhere. So you should be able to get into a large city and park at your company's terminal without any issue. And they should have showers there for you and stuff like that. Companies that build a terminal should build showers at the terminal for free. They don't charge you for. And really, they should have laundry there too. Florida scales are great. No trash, no pee smell, no Amazon, and clean bathrooms. Well, that part of it is because there's no Amazon trucks there, right? When I see the Loves and it's got 47,000 day cabs there, I think, wow, this place is not going to do great, especially when I was there this summer and that one sleeper, or there's somebody in it, and it was hot, 90 or something, and he had his windows open. I thought, oh, that's got to be pretty raunchy in there. Yikes. Does your company have your truck plug your truck in the winter for engine heater? They do if you can get to a plug. But I'm one of the last people in, and let me tell you, drivers, just in general, could care less. Not every driver, certainly. A lot of drivers, they don't care. So they just park all willy-nilly all over the place, right? And there's a driver parked in one angle. He's parked in this, so you usually can't get to him. There's cars parked by the plugs. Instead of parking your car away from the plug like you should, drivers are so lazy, they'll just move their truck and park their car there. And so then you can't get parked in there. And so most of the time in the winter, I don't get a plug. So it'll go 10 below zero. And usually they start. I will say generally it starts. If not, I just call service and say, well, and they're like, why didn't you plug it in? I go, look at this place. Because whenever I can't get a plug, I take a picture of it. I go, look, I can't get to a plug because you, management, right, don't make people pull up straight. And people will pull in with a trailer at one plug, and so it's blocking the next 3 spots. And the next person's got a day cab, and then there's a trailer. It's just a mess. And they don't enforce anything. So if there's no plug, I just leave it parked there. It's not my truck. They should make a plug available for everybody. I would like to plug them in, but I don't. I very rarely get one. The Werner terminal filled up as fast as the Loves. They should, so you can't even get in your own terminal? That's terrible. They should expand it. If they need that many trucks coming in there, that should be expanded. The Boulder Crest Pilot in Atlanta is a true cluster. There are several spaces that could be used to park. Instead, they're blocked by cars, old trailers. Yeah, get that stuff out of there. Because the more people that park, the truck stop should figure that out, right? That the more people buy things. I want the most people parking because I want to sell the most stuff. You know, that thing from economics should take care of itself. When I did a dedicated run on the Best Buy account, I got bored fast. George Wilson, that's the number one reason people quit here. They do the same thing every day and they leave. But in the road, there's a lot of problems that are solved by a dedicated account. The local account problem, flats, that kind of thing. But I don't have to worry about parking. I will say that. So, and, I don't have to worry about a truck. If there's no truck for me, I'll just come back home. That's not happened, but I've had to threaten it a couple times. But that kind of thing doesn't happen on that. So, and I know where I'm going. So parking, that kind of thing is solved. The parking issue is solved. And with an open fuel card, usually the Petro, but not always. I'll just go somewhere else. No problem. You solve some problems running a dedicated account, but you have to enjoy doing the same thing every day. The other good thing, you know what you're going to make every week too. So think about that. Every week, as long as there's no problems, because you'd get paid extra. But otherwise, every week you're going to get the same money. You do the exact same thing every day. Same thing, same thing. You see the same people, okay, which gets you out faster. I don't think it matters. But sometimes when I go down to the Natty and I'm there, he goes, oh, yeah, we moved your trailer. We put it out front for you. because I'm there every day. And so I don't have to go drive around. They park 1,000 trailers in there. I don't have to go drive all the way to the back to get it. They pull it up to the gate for me. So it's sitting by the gate. Stuff like that. That's a couple minutes here and there. All that kind of stuff matters. But you got to like doing the same thing every day. Same time. You leave at the same time, though. You sleep at the same time. Police busted inside Amazon theft ring in Oklahoma. Oh, I'm sure there's tons of that stuff. I'm imagining the management at your company loves it when you call them. Yes, you're trucking. Yeah, that's the thing. That's pretty funny. But, a couple of weeks ago, they said, at the beginning of the year, everybody has to come in every day and get their paperwork. This is funny, right? I used to get it a week at a time. I just go in. Everybody's got like a little slot where your name is, and my paperwork would just be in there. But then they put an announcement. Oh, no, everybody has to go in every day and get their paperwork. I thought, well, this is stupid, right? So I thought, oh, okay. Then I thought over the weekend, well, this is going to be great. I'm going to go in there. Well, I come in, my paperwork's in the slot. So I sent them a message. I go, I thought I had to come in every day. They go, oh, don't worry about it. Your paperwork will be out there. I thought, oh, that's super funny. They don't want me to come in and yell at them every day because I had to go in there and I'd go in there and yell at them every day. So my paperwork is ready for me every week still. Super funny. I thought that is super funny. Al Johns, I love a dedicated account. It's not for everybody. But, there have been people here longer than me. So, once you get in the groove of it, it's great. But see, I don't see I'm only seeing driving as a job too. I think that's part of it too. I only see it as work. I'm going there to make money. And, and so I just do the same thing to make it as simple as possible for me. And that's what I do there. So the truck stops in Atlanta are full of box trucks, old U-Haul and Penske trucks that people buy and start a trucking company. And so, they're running all that legit. They're running like a 1977 Ford, U-Haul truck with mom's attic over the front, which they scrape out, they scrape off of there. Yeah, I'm sure Joe Trucking, I'm sure that's kind of legit trucking company. Oh my gosh. Timeout, it's a 2-minute warning. Yes, I agree, right. Not sure if this still goes on, but the TA in downtown Nashville would make trucks leave so they could charge cars to park for the Titan home game. Oh, sweet. I'd complain to the TA corporate for that. If I could. If they were there and made me leave. TA corporate and gripe at them on social media and stuff. It's time to take the places on head first. Box truck business. Yeah, that's probably, maybe you could get a couple of U-Hauls and purchase them to somebody. Cash Geek Trucking. That's what I'm thinking. For $500, you could probably get 5 of them and, lease purchase those things out. What's up with the guys who leave trailers with flat tires that don't report it? They don't care because they know management won't do anything to them. So what do they care? And with the trailers, you may never see that trailer again. So they just drop it and go home. And when all you got to do is make a phone call. I think you should get in trouble because you sign the post trip in the computer that says no problems. All right. So that should get them in trouble. You put it down that doesn't have any issues and now it's got an issue. That should get the driver in trouble once they do the post trip. But unless that's enforced, nothing's going to happen with it. Then you just got to sit there. You end up wasting 5 or 6 hours a day trying to fix tires that should have been taken care of with a phone call where the driver doesn't even have to sit with it. It's not like they're on the side of the road. They're back. They can just go home. The Horton David Hay from Denver, Colorado. All right. Florida's full of box truck home goods truckers. I love it. I love the idea of having an old U-Haul where the orange paint is peeling off the side of it. That's got to be just delightful sitting. It's got the old bias ply tires on it still, rattling down the road. One of them old Ford, when they used to make them from a Ford pickup truck. Not that they're much better today, probably, but absolutely. Let's see. I wanted to say this, too. If you wear it, you should always make it a parrot. Remember that. Put something on your head in the new year. And plus, it keeps your ear warm. If you ever go outside, you have one ear that's warm. So now this is me as a baby, and I had the double one, but I'm not driving there, if you notice. So that is not a problem. I want to thank GP Transco for being here today, too. Check out GP Transco. They got a big class going there today, but you can be in the next class. And I just heard from a secret birdie told me they're going to get some Volvos in, teal-colored Volvos. So we're going to have to update the picture when I get some of those. That's going to be pretty great. Fleet Nav Systems was here today, too. Thank you for being here and answering all of our questions and keeping your sidewalks clear. I appreciate it. Go to Cash King Trucking. Check him out. He may be leasing you a box truck next, so that's going to be his next Cash is King Box Trucking will be the next channel out there. Check them out. So don't forget about Jay also. Right. Auto Transport Intel. I don't know anything about cars. Jay talks about cars. I don't know anything about them. I wish I did. Just driving them. There'll be a podcast tomorrow too, Tuesday. I have a story about what happened Friday. I hope you'll listen to that. It's a little longer form story about what Thursday night into Friday and what went on with that. It's a big story, and I think it's interesting based on what's going on in the Supreme Court right now. But on here, they'll probably cut it off anyway, so I wouldn't even allow it there. So, but that story, I hope that you'll all tune in for that. Otherwise, I do have to head out and get to work, basically, before they gripe at me. Can you imagine that you hire someone, you move your furniture, and they show up in a ragged 30-year-old Penske truck with bald tires? Yeah, and you're like, wow, no wonder it was $150 for move anywhere, anytime, any amount that fits in the truck. Yeah, some old rusted out bomb truck, and they come in flip-flops, of course, right? And two guys with tank tops and flip-flops. Oh, which rhymed. That's not a bad name for a moving company. Tank tops and flip-flops moving company. That's pretty good. I'm going to license that. Yeah, one of those split rim bias ply tires. Well, who are you going to call out to fix that thing when you get a flat? What's up with the seamstress that don't report a problem at a sewing machine? Yeah, it'd be almost the same thing. I tried to dedicate a run with Hirschbach and didn't make any money. Well, I guess it would depend on the run. So you could figure out right away what the run pays, right? And so you need a run that pays your bills and pays you enough money. But, it depends on what you want to do. Like I say on here, probably 80 to 90% of people on here probably make more money than I do. I don't work that much. So, and it's true. And they don't pay that much here, honestly. So it depends on how much you want to make and what's important. As you get into your extreme upper 30s, maybe time becomes more important than money because you have less of it and it becomes more valuable. I don't know. It's up to each person. Right? For me, it does, but I think dedicated does solve some of these other problems of parking and that kind of problem that drivers have. Dedicated would solve that. Even if you had a longer one, coast to coast one would be okay. That where you make tons of money, 3,300 miles a week. I had a 3,100 mile dedicated run. I went to Boston and back, and then went to Salem, Virginia and back every week. Boston, and then that Boston one came back to Fort Wayne, Indy, Salem, Virginia, and back 3,100 miles a week dedicated. So it just depends on what you want to do. Joan Harper, we love you, Mark. I appreciate that. Believe me. So that's you and the cat. So thank you very much. For $10 on used DVDs at the yard sale today. Wow. All the latest ones. Al John's awesome as usual. I appreciate that. Thank you for being here, Al John's and Cash is King Trucking. Joan Harper, thank you for coming here. And you were first this week. 421, thank you for being here. I wanted to hear for Walmart, they would stress to only park at the stores. Some stores didn't want any truck, and then the store doesn't let you. Only park at the store, and the store's like, get out of here. Please don't park here. Probably because everybody would steal everything out of the truck. That's what I assume, and it's probably safer. I'd probably back up to the store or back up into a dock if they'd let you sleep there. At least you'd have parking, too. That's not a bad thing about Walmart, probably. If they'll let you park at every store, that's not bad. That solves a parking problem, too. See, there are ways to solve these problems in the industry. Mr. Someone was here. Thank you for being here. Daniel Sailors was here. I want to thank everybody for sticking through the technical difficulties. Comcast. Thank you very much. I apologize for that. There was nothing I could do about it, I guess. The Horton David. Ronald Morrison was here. Let's see. Where did I go off to here? Oh, Joe was here today. All right. Thank you for being here. George Wilson was here today. Curtis J. Transport. All right. So Flat Highway was here. Paul Cruz, thank you for being here. Mr. Crowley, maybe Sam Crowley. Kevin, Ansel, and Penelope, Rain Blossom Smith, the longest name on YouTube. Thank you for being here. Paladin, it's good to see you. Pigpen was here, and I appreciate you being here. I appreciate everybody being here, believe me, and listening to the podcast. We're getting a lot of countries. We've gotten all the states in there now, so that's pretty great. So I'll have an interesting story tomorrow, at least I think. So I hope you'll catch that. And let's see, Ronald Morrison was here, so I have to get out of here, though. Mr. John was here. Trucker Gal. Be sure to send me your email so I can give it to GP Transco if you're interested with that. So Dwight was here. And the winner from last week, John Black, please email me your address. GP Transco would like to send you the gift. So there from the winning from that. So Stephen Ackerson was here, and I'm going to head on out to go off to work and gripe at them, although my paperwork will be there again, I bet you. I bet it will be, because they don't want me coming in, which I thought was the funniest thing, one of the funniest things I'd ever seen. that all the things are empty but mine. I have all my paperwork in there. Super funny. I found that super funny. So thanks for being here, and be safe in the weather, although it looks pretty good this week.